immunity, right? It is a very, very important topic in this chapter. It is a big topic and it is important from the point of view of your exams. Many questions can be framed. So we'll be doing the always like we always do. We'll be doing the theory, we'll be doing the diagrams, we'll be understanding each and everything, and then we'll be going to the MCQs, as well as generally I make you do fill in the blanks and one word, and one word questions and many other kind of like one line, so that basically I know that MCQs will come in the question, but I make you do all this so that the theory gets ingrained in your mind, right? So चलो एक बात पूछते हैं आपसे. then then you will understand the meaning of this word immunity in a better way. You are sitting in your room, in your home, but or you are going out, there are so many different viruses, bacteria, pathogens, small unicellular organisms that are potentially harmful to you all around you. इस समय आपके चारों तरफ हो सकता है वायरल फीवर का कोई वायरस हो सकता है कोई बैक्टीरिया हो, बहुत सारे हैं जो आपके चारों तरफ है. बट व्हाई आर यू नॉट गेटिंग सिक? टच वुड, व्हाई आर यू healthy and why are you not catching an infection? Why? What do we say? We say that his or her immunity is high. That's why that person is immune to all these things. Immune का क्या मतलब हुआ? Immunity का क्या मतलब हुआ? What do we understand? What do we mean? What is this immunity? What do we mean when we say that the immunity is high? What do we mean when we say immunity is low? Right? So basically, today this is just an introductory lecture. This is a small introductory lecture, or this is just an introduction to the topic of immunity. Because it is a big topic, we'll take small concepts one by one, right? So let us now move forward and see what is this immunity and what do we mean by this word immunity, right? As you might be knowing, when we say that the immunity is high, what do we mean? We mean that the capability of that person to handle or to resist those microorganisms is high. So what can we say? What is immunity? Immunity is the capability of multicellular organisms. We are multicellular organisms, vertebrates, to resist microorganisms. That is, it is the ability to resist and destroy infectious. खाली resist नहीं करना है कि कोई अगर if there is some person उस पे कोई virus या कोई bacteria आ रहा है, तो it's not that that person is only resisting it. It is actually destroying all those infectious agents like bacteria, virus, fungi, etc. So basically, what is immunity? Immunity is how you resist and how you destroy these infectious agents that are very harmful to the body. Now, let us see, whenever we say immunity, there are two types of immunity that we are talking about. These types are innate immunity and acquired immunity. So basically, in this lecture, we'll be focusing on innate immunity, and in the coming lectures, 2-3 lectures, we'll be focusing on innate immunity, and then we'll be going on acquired immunity. So this is a chart which you should write with your own hand in your copy with your pen so that you remember it, right? When you're revising it, you know that innate immunity, acquired immunity. एंड द इनेट इम्यूनिटी क्या होती है? व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय इनेट? इनेट का मतलब होता है खुद से, इनबॉर्न, जो चीज हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है, दैट थिंग दैट्स ऑलरेडी इनबॉर्न. व्हेन वी आर born, we were born with it. Acquired, that's an adaptive. The other word is adaptive. We have acquired it due to certain conditions, right? We have acquired that immunity, we have adapted to the environment, and that's how our body has adapted and acquired this immunity. But innate immunity, we are born with it. So basically, today we are going to focus on innate immunity, and this acquired immunity we'll be doing later on. You can just remember this chart that the immunity can be divided into innate and acquired, and acquired is also called adaptive, which can further be divided into active immunity and passive immunity, right? Which can be further divided into natural and artificial. and passive can also be divided into natural and artificial. जस्ट आपको क्यूरियोसिटी शांत करने के लिए एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी होती है जो हमारी बॉडी खुद से एंटीबॉडीज बना रहे होते हैं. पैसिव इम्यूनिटी होती है जब हम कोई जैसे वैक्सीनेशन वैक्सीनेशन करते हैं, राइट. We'll be dealing with this in detail afterwards. Let us focus on innate immunity. अब innate immunity को मैंने डिवाइड करा है external defenses में and internal defenses में. So now let us see further what do I mean when we are talking about external defenses and internal defenses in innate immunity. Please remember this chart because in the end when you're revising the chapter, this whole chart will give you the whole this topic in detail. When you'll see this, you'll see okay ये करना है और ये करना है. तो अब innate immunity होती क्या है? What is this innate immunity that we are talking about? Innate immunity is the immunity that we are, first thing, it is inborn. As I have written, we are born with it. What do we mean when we say that we are born with it? It means that this immunity does not adapt to the external stimulus. ये कुछ adaptation नहीं हो रहा है. It is not adapting to the external stimulus. तो कहाँ से आ रही है? What is this? Basically, it is relying on what? It relies on the genetically coded information, because that's the information we are already born with. So it relies on the genetically coded information or patterns, right? And basically one more thing that you should know about it is that इसमें इन्फ्लेमेटरी रिस्पॉन्सेस जो होते हैं ये हम आगे पढ़ेंगे क्या क्या रिस्पॉन्सेस होते हैं. बट इन्नेट इम्यूनिटी में इन्फ्लेमेटरी कहीं चोट कहीं कुछ हुआ और इन्फ्लेमेशन हो गया, so that is the innate immunity. So we'll do all, there are many other responses which we'll do further in this chapter. So basically it is not relying or it is not adapting to the external stimulus or prior information, right? कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई prior infection हमें कभी कोई infection हुआ और basically it has no, a very good word, it has no immunological memory, right? Basically it has no immunological memory. मतलब हमें कोई prior infection हुआ, the body remembers it and it makes antibodies. No, it is already present. Already immune cells are present, right? So let us, basically this no immunological memory is a very big difference between innate and acquired immunity. चलो हमें इस मतलब समझ में आ गया innate immunity क्या होता है. We are born with it. It is not adapting to the external environment and it is relying on the genetically coded information and there is no immunological memory, that is कोई prior information से it is not developing. Now let us see what else do we mean by it. Innate immunity. अब innate immunity जब हम पढ़ना शुरू कर रहे हैं तो there are few words that we will encounter. हमें उन words के मतलब clear होने चाहिए, नहीं तो we will not be able to understand this innate immunity. सबसे पहले what is self and what is non-self. Self का मतलब क्या होता है और non-self का मतलब क्या होता है. Self वो चीज है या it refers to those particles or those proteins or those molecules that are a part of your body. Either they are a part of your body or they are made by your body. तो सेल्फ का क्या मतलब हो गया, वो पार्टिकल्स या वो प्रोटीन्स या वो मॉलिक्यूल्स जो अपने बॉडी में हैं या वो आपकी बॉडी बना रही है. either they are present in your body or they are a part of your body or your body is making it. So two very important points, they are a part of your body or your body is making that particle or those proteins. अब कैसे मिलेंगे, how will we find these particles in our body? They can be found either circulating in our body, first thing, or they can be attached to some tissues, right? So वो particles जो कि that are a part of our body or they are made by our body and they are either circulating or they are attached to the tissues are called self. They are known as self. अब इस self से एक बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज हम डिराइव कर सकते हैं. क्या डिराइव कर सकते हैं, जब हमें पता चल गया कि सेल्फ क्या है तो हमें ये पता चल गया, if we know what is self then we obviously know what is non-self, राइट, जो हमारा है और जो हमारा नहीं है। तो जो हमारा नहीं है वो हमें किल करना है। वी डोंट हैव टू किल सेल्फ, वी डोंट हैव टू किल दोस पार्टिकल्स, वी डोंट हैव टू अटैक दोस पार्टिकल्स दैट आर अ पार्ट ऑफ सेल्फ। So from here we come to the word tolerance. What is tolerance? Tolerance is the non-reactivity of the immune system to self particles, right? जो भी हमारा immune system है, that is fighting against what? This immune system is fighting against pathogens and infections, infectious agents, right? So the non-reactivity of the immune system to self particles. ऐसा ना हो कि जो हमारी immune cells है, they begin to attack our own body cells. So that is known as the word, that is what? That is the tolerance of the immune system. Now, when we know self, we easily know what is non-self. These are the particles that are not made by our body and are potentially harmful. This is very important. They are not made and they are harmful. ऐसा नहीं है वी आर नॉट लीव्स, क्या पत्तियां नहीं निकली हमारे मुंह पे कि हम खाना बना रहे हैं, नहीं, हम खाना खा रहे हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट मेड बाय आवर बॉडी, बट दैट इज नॉट हार्मफुल, राइट? सो द इम्यून सिस्टम विल नॉट गो एंड बिगिन टू अटैक अवर carbohydrates and proteins and all that are actually useful for the body. So that particles that are not made by our body and are harmful, like bacteria, virus, protozoans and all, these harmful things are also known as foreign bodies, that are foreign to our body. Our body does not recognize it, like bacteria, virus, parasites, pollen, dust, toxic materials, right? Now these are the two words that we understood: self, non-self, and what one else? Tolerance, right? Now these three words we are clear with. Now let us see what is the word the antigen means. बहुत बार ये word antigen आता है and sometimes the students are not clear what is antigen. Antigens are anything that causes an immune response. A very simple one line definition of antigen to understand. Antigens are anything that causes an immune response, right? Immune response हमेशा foreign bodies से होगा. That is, immune response हमेशा किसके लिए होगा? It will always be to foreign bodies, because foreign bodies are non-self. और अगर ये सेल्फ पे होने लगेगा इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स तो क्या होगा? तो डिसऑर्डर्स हो जाएंगे, जिसके बारे में हम पढ़ेंगे, ऑटो इम्यूनिटी एंड ऑल. एंड ये फॉरेन बॉडीज पे होता है और पोटेंशियली हार्मफुल चीजों पे होता है, राइट? दैट आर पोटेंशियली हार्मफुल. अब ये जो एनीथिंग है या जो फॉरेन बॉडीज हैं, ये किस तरीके से एग्जिस्ट करती हैं? या तो पूरा एक बैक्टीरिया, वायरस, फंजाई, पैरासाइट कुछ हमारी बॉडी में घुस जाए, तो या तो वो पूरा entire pathogen can act like an antigen, or smaller protein that pathogen produces or express. कुछ ऐसा प्रोटीन या कुछ ऐसा मटेरियल वो जो उसकी अपनी बॉडी से निकाले और हमारी बॉडी को पता चल जाए कि ओ दिस इज द हार्मफुल थिंग, एंड देन the body's immune response will come into play. Now अब क्या हो सकता है कि एंटीजेंस आर लाइक अ नेम टैग फॉर ईच पैथोजन. अब हम इसके क्या मतलब समझते हैं? नेम टैग फॉर ईच पैथोजन. अब you can have a name, right? You can have a name, and that name will describe you, right? That name can just describe you as a person. That okay, like this channel has a name, Izu Neet Tutorial, right? E for electronic, zoo for zoology, Neet for the Neet exam and tutorial. So you are getting that it is a virtual medium of learning zoology for the exam, specifically Neet. So the name itself is saying that, is describing it. Similarly, the antigens भी body में आके announce कर सकते हैं. क्या announce कर सकते हैं? They are like a name tag. I am bacteria that will cause infection in your GI tract, right? अब इसने बिल्कुल बता दिया कि हम बैक्टीरिया है, हम इन्फेक्शन करेंगे तुम्हारी बॉडी में जीआई ट्रैक्ट. अब बॉडी को पता चल गया, अच्छा भाई बैक्टीरिया है, ये इन्फेक्शन करेगा जीआई ट्रैक्ट में, तो उसने जीआई ट्रैक्ट के इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स को फटाफट बढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया. या इट कैन से आई एम द इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस, आई विल डू फ्लू टू यू. फ्लू हो जाएगा आपको. अब हम आई हैव एंटर्ड योर बॉडी एंड आई एम द इन्फ्लुएंजा वायरस. या एक जनरल एंटीजन क्या बोलेगा बॉडी में आके? दैट आई एम हार्मफुल. क्या बोलेगा बॉडी में आके मीन्स दैट द बॉडी विल जस्ट रिकॉग्नाइज इट दैट देयर इज some particle या some foreign body which is what? Which is harmful. So this is acting like a general antigen. Why a general antigen? Because it is not specific. There is some particle, some foreign body. This some is not described. But if the body knows that, okay, this is a bacteria that is causing an infection, because there are useful bacteria also in the GI tract. So now this is what? This is a specific antigen. So basically we can divide antigen into two parts. In what two parts we can divide antigens? We can divide into specific antigens and into general antigens, right? And now you know what do we mean by specific antigen and what do we mean by general antigen. When the body specifically knows what is the antigen going to do, and when the body just knows that there is something that is harmful to the body. Now you will come across a word that are cytokines. What are these cytokines, right? The infected cells, these are molecules basically that are released by the infected cells, which are used for cell signaling or cell to cell communication, right? Basically इसमें क्या होगा? What will this trigger? These cytokines are used for what? इनका purpose क्या है? Are used to trigger cell movement. I told you that there are many immune cells that we are going to do, each and every immune cells we are going to do in detail. So basically cytokines are used to trigger cell movement to the specific area of the body. Specific area of the body, kaun sa area of the body? The area which is infected. So cytokines are basically what? These are molecules these are proteins only. These are molecules that are used for cell signaling and cell to cell communication. And what do? They trigger cell movement. What kind of cells? Generally immune cells, to the specific areas of the body. So now we know what are cytokines. I'm telling you all these words because you will encounter these words when we are doing the immune cells. And you should know about each of these in detail. Now, what are chemokines? Chemokines are a type of cytokines only. Chemo, these are chemicals that are released by the infected cells. अब जब इन्फेक्टेड सेल है, ये कोई एक सेल है जो इन्फेक्टेड है, इसने कुछ ऐसे केमिकल्स रिलीज कर दिए, तो बेसिकली जो आसपास वाली सेल हैं, दे विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट ओ दिस इज एन इन्फेक्टेड सेल एंड देयर इज एन एंटीजन प्रेजेंट. So infected host cells release chemokines. This is an infected host cell that is releasing chemokine in order to initiate what? In order to initiate an immune response, because there is an infection, there's an infected host cells, and to warn the neighboring cells of the threat. तो chemokines ने क्या करा? एक तो immune response initiate करा. It is initiating an immune response for doing what? So as to warn the neighboring cells about the presence of what? Of the presence of antigen. And what is antigens? What are antigens? Antigens are anything that causes an immune response. राइट नाउ अब हम इनेट इम्यूनिटी सिस्टम के बारे में बहुत थोड़ी सी बात करेंगे इस लेक्चर में, एंड देन वील गो इन डिटेल इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. तो innate immunity system, what does it actually includes? We'll do the immune cells, जो भी cells of innate immunity system we'll do in detail, and I think that this will take around 2 lectures. But let us just see what is this innate immunity system includes. क्या क्या होता है इसमें? So basically our body is acting actually fighting, not acting, it is actually fighting with the infections in basically 3 manners in the innate immunity system: physical barriers, defense mechanism, general immune response. Physical barriers: you have a skin, you have your GI tract, you have your respiratory tract, you have your cilia, eyelashes, or any kind of body hair. They are all your physical barriers. Very easy to remember. Defense mechanism: bile, mucus, gastric acid, saliva, tears. These are what? These are your defense mechanism, right? खाना आता है, कोई अगर हार्मफुल बैक्टीरिया है तो गैस्ट्रिक एसिड से किल हो जाएगा. Saliva, cleaning the mouth, keeps the mouth clean. Tears, keep your eyes clean. Mucus, it acts as a lubrication and it acts like so that no pathogen can attack. Bile, we have done all these things in the GI tract. General immune response, inflammation and complement cascade. We will do these two things in detail, right? Now, a innate immunity response is always general or non-specific. That is, anything identified as foreign or non-self is a target for it. And this is one of the difference between the innate immunity response and adaptive immunity response. क्योंकि जो adaptive, let me write, जो adaptive immune system होता है, that is highly specific. But innate immunity is very general और नॉन स्पेसिफिक, राइट. और जो अडेप्टिव इम्यूनिटी रिस्पॉन्स होता है, ये क्या होता है, इसमें एक इम्यूनोलॉजिकल मेमोरी होती है. वी हैव डन दिस. और इनेट में इम्यूनोलॉजिकल मेमोरी नहीं होती है बिकॉज इट इज रिलाइंग ऑन द जेनेटिकली कोडेड इंफॉर्मेशन. It is relying on the genetically coded information and there is no, it is not relying on what? It is not relying on the immunological memory. Yeah, past. What do we mean by this word? Prior experience to the infection. Prior experience to any infectious agent, yeah, to any infection, yeah, pathogen, right? So this much is very easy. I just wrote this sentence and it is activated by what? Innate, by the presence of antigens or their chemical properties. मतलब cytokines या chemokines. आ गया ना, presence of antigens नहीं पता होता तो antigen क्या होते हैं पता नहीं. Chemical properties क्या? Cytokines या chemokines, right? And we'll do many other things when we'll delve into detail. Now, this part is very important. The cells of immune system. In different books, it is given in a different way, right? I'll be teaching you cells of innate immunity system. Each and every cell we'll be taking in detail. So first, let us just read those cells and not go into much of the details. The cells of the innate immunity system क्या होती हैं? Phagocytes. आप इनको ईटिंग सेल्स भी कह सकते हो, पैजोसाइटिक सेल्स भी कह सकते हो, ईटिंग सेल्स और सिक्योरिटी सेल्स. व्हाई? We will do it in the next lecture. So first cell of immunity response that you should know is phagocytes. Next you should know what? Macrophages. Just learn those names. Macrophages. And in these phagocytes we'll be doing about the receptors also and how does it work. Mast cells, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, right? And natural killer cells and dendritic cells. So let us just say all these once again. Phagocytes, macrophages, mast cells. Macrophages क्या होते हैं? They are also phagocytes, but they are very efficient phagocytic cells. और ये how do they work and all, we will do it. So basically macrophages are very efficient phagocytic cells and we'll be doing it in differently. Why differently? Why is different macrophages? We'll do it in the next, because we'll do one by one. What are mast cells? किस में काम आते हैं? क्या होता है? So basically you can just know that they are found, they generally, mast cells क्या करते हैं? ये inflammatory response में help करते हैं, right? Just to know here a little bit, mast cells किस में help करते हैं? Inflammatory response. What are we doing? We are doing the cells of innate immunity system. न्यूट्रोफिल्स हम कर चुके हैं. ये क्या होते हैं? ग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स और एग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स. दे आर ग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स. डोंट डिसअपॉइंट मी बाय सेइंग दैट आई डोंट नो. ईस्नोफिल्स भी क्या होते हैं? दे आर आल्सो ग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स और एग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स. नो, दे आर ग्रेन्युलोसाइट्स. ये क्या करते हैं? वी विल डू. जल्दी से बताओ कि ईस्नोफिल्स कितने पार्ट ऑफ द डब्ल्यूबीसीज होते हैं? 1 to 6% of WBCs, right? And basophils भी क्या होते हैं? They are also granulocytes, right? Basophils are also granulocytes. ये क्या करते हैं? Basophils किस चीज में करते हैं help? Allergic response. We have done this, right? We are just doing one line. We'll do it in the next thing, right? And what are natural killer cells? So we'll do this, and basically they natural killer cells. They are the killer cells. Killer cells क्या करते हैं? ये host cell को ही destroy कर देते हैं, right? They destroy the host cell only so that the infection stops. We'll delve into detail, don't worry. What are dendritic cells? Dendritic cells tissues में present होते हैं that can contact the external environment like the through skin, mucosal lining. Basically, dendritic cells, they act as a messenger to the for the rest of the immune system, right? और एक बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट सा क्वेश्चन आता है और बहुत ही इजी सा है. कोई एक name any cell, name the cells that act as a bridge between the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. They act as a bridge. So these are the dendritic cells that act as a bridge between innate and adaptive because they're acting as a messenger for the rest of the immune response. So bachcho, next time what are we going to do? We are just going to do each of these cells: phagocytes, macrophages, mast cells, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, natural killer cells, and dendritic cells. So by that time, learn all these cells, understand everything that I have taught you today, right? So this was just an introductory lecture. Next lecture, we are going to do the cells of innate immunity. What have I written here? Cells of innate immunity system. I thought I've written response. Cells of innate immunity system. So this is our next lecture, and this lecture will be very important. So guys, bachcho, please be alert, study, stay home, and stay safe, and continue to work hard and continue to study, right? Because you have dreamt of becoming a doctor, and that can only be fulfilled by studying, right? So have fun, stay home, stay safe, and eat healthy. Okay, bye.